quick introduction. I'm Lucas. I will be your host. I'm joined by Krzysztof, who is our lead game developer, and hopefully soon Morris as well, once he manages to actually connect and talk. We'll see how long that will take. I have a quick schedule for you guys, so we will start with a short preview for the closed beta, considering what features can you expect and all that. Also, maybe you already answered some questions that you had asked us in the questions channel. By the way too many questions there. We will not be able to answer all of them. But it's nice to see the engagement rate, so thank you all for that. Exactly, then after this short closed beta preview, we will jump right into the questions that you sent us. We have, I actually don't know how many, like a lot. It should fill most of the duration that we have planned for this. Maybe even longer, especially due to the delay we have. Again, sorry about that. After that, you might be able, depends on how much time we have, to ask some questions in the live chat here as well, where some of you are already talking. So it's also a new feature for Discord. We now have like chat windows for the voice channels, I'd say. So you can just type some questions here and our team will filter through them and maybe we can answer some of them as well at the end of the session. And after that, we have some information for you, maybe some surprises, teasers and all that. And I guess, as Morris is still not here, we can just start with the stuff that at least Krzysztof should be able to answer. Something for Krzysztof to answer first. Is the first question for today's session one that has been asked multiple times now? I've seen on like many text channels on this Discord was considering our rating system. Will we have like something of a I rating, safety rating system? Krzysztof, will we have something like that?
Yes. So the plan for the game is to have more than just online racing, but also ranking system, which we saw that you really want to take apart how it looks like. We saw many questions and propositions how it would look like. So definitely we want to have such system in our game, since it's a very good way for you guys to have a target for to become better and to improve yourself and to compete with each other. So of course, this is one of the things that we will definitely have in our game.
Perfect, because that is probably one of the most asked feature out there currently. But so is also another topic that might be or is actually connected to it. So are we considering a similar system for ranked racing as LFM, so low fuel motorsport, does it for ACC and R Factor 2?
So basically, we are developing our own platform, which will allow you guys to compete with each other and have your own leagues, your own to just create whatever you want to compete with each other, however you want to compete with each other. So yes, we want to have a system, very sophisticated system for rankings, integrated with the game out of the box, so you don't have to do anything. You'll just download the game and you can just use it, and yeah.
Perfect. So the ranked stuff is already pretty much settled. It will be very good, I can tell you that much. Okay, then the next topic, let's just jump right into it, will be, will we actually have endurance races?
Our goal with when we started RENNSPORT was to allow you guys to race however you want to race. So if there are endurance races enthusiasts here, we want them to have a possibility to do endurance races here. If there are enthusiasts of sprint races, we want to have you guys to so you can play sprint races here. We have a schedule on how we go with that, so we have a plan when we want those things to happen. As probably many of you noticed with our summit, we start with GT3 cars, and we have a plan for later development and adding new car types later on.
Right, in endurance races, we saw it in the past already at some live events, had some unfortunate happenings with a server attacks like DDoS attacks and all that. How will RENNSPORT handle that?
Yeah, we also noticed that those servers can sometimes have problems with like DDoS attacks and other technical issues, and we definitely want to avoid this as much as it's possible technically. We have a whole team working very, very hard to create the most robust and the best possible system for online racing. So you don't have to suffer with DDoS attacks. So you can have a stable connection without any hiccups and stable netcode. So you can just race with each other and don't suffer any issues during that.
Okay, yeah, so obviously that is quite difficult from time to time, but I'm sure you can manage it. I mean, you have done some incredible things already, which I didn't think were possible. Okay, then when we are already talking about like issues and all that, how do you plan to deal with punishments for dirty drivers?
Yeah, you can clearly see that punishment system is one of the biggest things, like the hardest things to implement for racing games, since racing rules are very complicated, and good system for judging who, for example, caused the collision is a hard thing to develop. But we want to spend a lot of time creating the best solution possible, and this will be available for like daily normal racing with random people on the internet. And for, I would say, for users who just play the game, this is the most important part. You will probably have no you won't feel the need to review it manually, because it will work out of the box the way it should. But for like offline racing or esports, we also, or maybe for guys who just like to be race directors, because that's also a fun thing to do. We also plan to add a very, very complex system for manual race directoring. So you can just use a special UI to be a race director and give penalties or change the grid order or deploy safety car, whatever you need as a race director.
Perfect. And like connecting to that, what are the maximum amount of drivers that will be able to join a server? Because if we can send out penalties, then there should be quite a few drivers as well, right?
Yeah, since game is pretty much in early development right now, we don't have that final number that we aim for ready yet. For now, for first sporting that we plan, we will have possibility, and for the beta launch, we will have possibility to race with 12 cars on the map. Later, we plan to add more. We also tested it with more players. You can definitely do it, but for now, we feel comfortable with that value, and that's how we have it prepared. But to be honest, sky is the limit. We aim for the very big numbers, and only need to solve some technical issues to have like very, very big amount of players on servers.
Yes, and we are making improvements. So we've already increased the amount of cars that are able to be on the track at the same time. I'm sure we can improve that even further. Okay, next on the list will RENNSPORT have built-in broadcasting and photography tools?
Yes, of course. And if you watched our video from RENNSPORT Summit, which we had in May, you could see some of those features already in the game. So we have a spectator system. You can just join the server as a spectator and take some cool shots with different camera angles, and use it later, publish it somewhere, and just to show how good racer you are or how good director you are. Also, since we also have a big, we want to help other parties with creating broadcasts. We have special API during development, which will allow the game to integrate with external tools to create some custom overlays or send some commands to spectator systems, so you don't have to use keyboard or game UI to change cameras, or you use just external tools or whatever you like to use, or you even implement yourself to steer all of those features. And yeah, basically. Oh, and also one thing, replay system, that if you just race with your friends and later you want to take cool shots from that will also be possible pretty soon.
Okay. Also, talking about the summit video, something that we also could see there was that there was no damage. I still remember Joshua Rogers like crashing into the wall heavily and there was no damage. Can we expect a sophisticated damage model for cars and tires, like aero and mechanical damage or flat spots, punctures, grading, etc.?
Yes, of course, and I hope you will be able to see them soon, since we spent a lot of time implementing them already. Things like flat spots on wheels, you can already feel them if you have a flat spot on your wheel. If you have a for example, direct drive wheel, you should be able to feel it already. And things like sophisticated damage, we are getting close to having a pretty good version for that, so we can show it to you, and hopefully you will be able to experience that soon.
Perfect. Also, the sounds you just heard was, I think, Morris. Morris, are you able to hear us now? And can you talk? Because I think you are able to now.
Sorry for being that late. There were really some horrible technical problems in the office, but now from the mobile, it works quite okay. Sorry for that.
Morris, you made me really, really nervous. Don't leave me ever again.
I left you alone. Sorry for that. Oh my God. Yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah, we already went through quite a lot of questions. Your sound quality is not very good. As an info for everyone else, Morris was not able to join via his laptop, so he's now on mobile, which is not optimal, but the only solution we could find. So please excuse the bad audio quality for him. It will be better in future sessions, definitely. But now that Morris is in the call, actually, we can also torture him with a few questions, I think, and give Krzysztof a chance to relax. So, yeah, Morris, like I said, we already answered a few questions, but one of the biggest questions was what sets RENNSPORT apart from the sims already on the market? I've been asked that multiple times at roadshow stops as well, and I want to hear your answer on that.
Yeah, I think, first of all, there are a lot of really good games out there. And really the idea of RENNSPORT was to add several parts to a game where we think they are really needed for the next years and doing great sport on the platform, or doing great sport with the game. And so I think some of the websites out there really show what is needed to have some add-on things at the game, which makes the game and the whole infrastructure and the environment really better. And that are the things we also had in mind, really creating not only a game, also developing a platform which really enables the community and stakeholders to do additional things on the platform beside of the game. So when it comes to broadcasting, or really when it comes to sporting, so make it really easy to create leagues or sporting scenarios by your own, and working together with esport companies like ESL to create esport and so on. And that was a bit really the things we had in mind when we start the project, not only developing a AAA game, also developing an environment and ecosystem from technical side, which is able really to involve all the websites out there and other sim enthusiastic guys into this ecosystem. So that was definitely the idea.
Hey, that is a perfect answer. I will need to copy that for whenever I'm asked that. Also, another question is asked quite frequently that we've also answered a few times on social media, but I think it would make sense to answer it here again is which cars and tracks will be in RENNSPORT?
Yeah, hopefully in 3 or 4 years, we will have hundreds of cars and hundreds of racetracks at the end. So that's my goal, really having all these futuristic cars, traditional history cars, and so on. What we're doing at the moment is really we start with, as we said on the summit, with a lot of GT3 cars we really would like to have, and with these cars we will start the sporting next year, and we will have definitely most of the famous racetrack for the beta as well. So talking about racetracks like Nuremberg, Hockenheimring, whatever, Red Bull Ring, Monza. So the goal is really at the end having all these famous racetracks and a lot of maybe unknown racetracks which were not shown in games at the moment. And the third part definitely will be creating own content and racetracks on RENNSPORT.
Hey, and someone has asked for oval support in the chat just now. Will we also support oval racetracks?
At the moment, to be honest, we are not developing an oval racetrack, but it's definitely on the list. I don't know when we will have it. I'm quite sure there will be some oval racetracks at the release, but I have no idea where they are on the timeline at the moment. What I definitely know at the moment, we are not working on an oval racetrack, but they are definitely on the list.
Right, perfect. Right, then when we're already on racetracks, kind of similar or relating to that is, will we be able to compete in special events like 24 hours of Spa, 24 hours of Nürburgring, etc.?
So, okay, we will have definitely all these famous racetracks in RENNSPORT when it comes to the release. Though that is really our goal. So we are talking to all these partners, and I'm 100% sure we will have these famous racetracks in RENNSPORT at the release. And if it comes to the possibility to do a digital race for these kind of partners and do maybe a digital twin of these famous racing events, it would be a dream of all of us in RENNSPORT to have the chance to do that. But that's the thing we definitely have to discuss. Now we really not sure at the moment if this will happen, but the racetracks will be in RENNSPORT when we release.
Hey, and will we also support official real-life series in RENNSPORT?
Yeah, that's possible. So from technical side, that's exactly what we do. So we develop a platform and a game which makes it super easy over with APIs in all directions to integrate existing racing formats, integrate real world racing events. So from technical side, definitely absolutely no problem to do this. And there will be a lot of new options for these kind of partners to do special digital motorsport events on our platform. But we are not in, I would say, negotiations or contact at the moment to implement one of these real-world race series. But from technical side, it is definitely possible. And I'm quite sure if it comes to the release, we will have one or two of them integrated as a partner.
Right, that sounds promising at least. I see someone in the chat asking if we will be at the SIMRACING EXPO.
I would love to go there. I know these guys doing the SIMRACING EXPO, and I like them a lot. And we sit together 2 weeks ago and had a great conversation of digital motorsport and all the things that happen out there at the moment. And they also have a great vision, and I am quite sure they will do a great show at the beginning of December in Nuremberg. We have no final decision at the moment. The plan would be my plan, but I'm not sure if we really can make it happen to go there with 2 of our containers and having some rigs there, really to show the core audience of sim racing what is RENNSPORT and giving a chance to test the game. But it's not 100% at the moment. So if there is not a chance to go there with our containers and our team, definitely I and maybe some guys of our team will be at the SIMRACING EXPO, and would be happy to do some meetings there and talking to the guys. Decision will be made next year, I think. sorry.
No worries. Okay, but now I've tortured you again a bit. So, Krzysztof, I have something for you now again.
Okay.
Will RENNSPORT support some kind of API to get the car and/or session data to use in third-party software?
Like I mentioned earlier when we talked about spectator and broadcasting stuff, yes, we are implementing an API to allow users to read some data from the game. For example, to use it with external tools or external hardware, and also for to have better broadcast. And you will also be able to send some commands to the game, for example, to use it for controlling spectator system instead of your keyboard or UI in the game.
Okay. And will we have the documentation for the API ready on time? Was asked on the chat just now.
Yes, of course. We try to be good developers, so we document our code. So hopefully, once the game is released for you guys, you will be able to access those things, I hope.
I saw your documentation stuff. It's very in-depth, but also very confusing for me, at least. But all right, I'm sure some people will figure it out. All right, then let's move on. Something that has also been asked quite a few times is if there will be a safety car.
Krzysztof, would you like to answer, or should I do?
Yeah, I think you will have a cool answer for that. Maybe I'll add something.
I don't know if the answer will be true, but okay. From technical side, absolutely no problem. And to be honest, I'm an old white man, and I always talk about to the team that I would love to have, if it comes to offline events, I would love to have the SIMRIC only there for a safety car driver and having a safety car in the game. They're always laughing about me and say I'm coming from the old world, and that's not what we need for the sporting. So I'm not 100% sure what we need, but I would love to have it. And to be honest, from technical side, there's absolutely no problem to have it in the game. So this is not the question.
Yeah, maybe we'll just add that feature and let you choose if you want to use it or not.
Yes, we can also do a poll on that.
Okay.
Good way to use our polls in this Discord. Always, by the way, talking about that, thank you all for the participation in our polls. It's super helpful for all of us to know what you really want. Just as a quick side note. Now, I see some questions about mods in the chat. So how restricted or not will modding be?
So Krzysztof, would you like to answer, or should I say some?
Maybe let's start with you. I maybe add something.
Okay. So modding is for me a thing which really comes from my heart. That's with me since I'm working in the gaming industry. So modding really makes a lot of titles huge and big, and I'm a big fan of the whole modding scene. The output which comes from this side is sometimes amazing, and definitely a lot of them are on the same quality as the bigger teams from the studios. So that's really amazing to see what's coming from this side, and that's the thing we definitely have on the map. We are working on some modding tools, so that's a thing which will come by end of the year when it's coming closer to the release. Really having the modding community deeply involved, giving them the chance to create the best possible content and showing the quality they have. And then it comes to the next step. A technical possibility from our platform definitely will be that these guys could bring their content to the platform and really monetize what they created and where they are the owners from. And this is a thing which is, I think, super important to make that happen. and giving these guys a chance really to monetize where they worked on for months and brought in all their creativity. So that's really a big part. And we will do our best with APIs and tools to make it the access as easy as possible.
Yeah, one of my main things that we want to give you guys is the system to be extremely easy to use. So many of you who work with mods probably know that it's usually pretty painful. We want to simplify it as much as possible because we want you to have exactly the same tools as we have when we create that game.
All right. And someone has asked also for liveries, now that we're already at user-generated content.
So basically, just like with modding support, we want to have the best possible, fully integrated with the game system, which allows you to create liveries, share it with other players, and so you can just play the game, don't worry about downloading stuff, and just click play, and everything happens. That's our goal for liveries.
Sure, that will make a few people here happy. I've already talked to a few about this exact problem in the sim racing scene. Right, moving on from this though, will RENNSPORT support DLSS and ray tracing?
To be honest, DLSS is already supported by the game, so once you have access, you can just enable it and use it. About the ray tracing, we are experimenting with that, so probably Morris will tell you more about. And we are. Oh yeah.
No, sorry, Krzysztof. Don't want to interrupt you. Just have in mind what we talked about on Monday when we sit together in the studio.
Yeah.
So ray tracing is definitely a thing. So we are, and there I'm totally open. We are not 100% happy with the ray tracing we are using at the moment. This is not the final quality we all have in mind for the game. So we are just checking options, what we can do on this side at the moment. We will definitely have ray tracing at the end. But yeah, that's a topic where we're working on very hard at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, that is a good answer once again. But it might also be a limitation of UE5 maybe. So now that we're talking about this, what are limitations of UE5 as a game engine, so Unreal Engine 5? Or in other words, are there things that we will definitely not see in RENNSPORT?
So first of all, I would say jumping from Unreal 4, we used for the prototype of the game till October last year, and then really making the decision to jump on Unreal 5 super early was really risky. And I spoke to a lot of really experienced guys in the gaming industry, and they said, okay, I wouldn't be sure if I would do it at this moment. But we made this decision, and yeah, to be honest, it was really hard for Krzysztof and the team working with Unreal in the beginning, because it was really a step back for us. But in a long-term perspective, and if I see where we are at the moment, this engine has so huge potential for this game and for our plans. That it was worth to do it and to invest the additional manpower over the last months. For the future, we will get it back, and I'm 100% sure this engine and this environment of Unreal is the best we could have for the next 10 years.
Yeah, since we are aiming for years from now, the only good choose was to just switch to the Unreal 5, since this is the future. And just like Morris said, I think many things will be possible with that engine, especially if we get used to all those new features that come up with that, and we learn how to use them, maybe add some more from our side. Many things will be possible.
Okay, and in the chat there's currently a discussion about grid girls. Will we have grid girls in the game?
I never had this in mind, to be honest. but I would love to be part of the motion capturing activities of the team if they have to do it. I have no idea.
I'm not sure if we are gonna be models for that. They are gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know. Krzysztof, what do you think?
I can see why not.
Okay. It's not planned at the moment, to be honest. But maybe if you wish, let's take it on the list and think about.
Yeah, adding it to our Jira immediately, right now.
We'll do that immediately.
But please do not an internal vote. I'm quite sure what the answer would be.
Men are simple creatures, yes. Okay, but moving on from that, which hardware will we support? We have any certain brands we focus on or something like that?
Definitely, we start with VRS hardware during our prototype phase, and that helps us a lot. But it's totally clear we now speaking to all the important hardware manufacturers. So having Fanatec and SemiCube involved, and for the beta, all these really important hardware will be in the game and possible to connect.
Yes, we will also, we're already working on it. We are currently testing multiple hardware types, I'd say, from multiple brands. And when we release the closed beta, we will show a list of which hardware is supported and where are known issues, so that it hopefully makes things a bit easier for you guys. Just a quick heads up. Yep. Okay.
But step by step to the release, all the important hardware is definitely implemented into RENNSPORT.
Yes, definitely. There's just some weird things with some hardware manufacturers. They interpret some things differently, so it's always a lot to test. Anyways, what will the payment model look like?
Yeah, it's definitely as I explained it on the summit. So for us, it's super important really to have a kind of free to enter system. So giving racetracks or several items for free, so that the big audience really have the chance to jump in without paying money. So this is super important for us. And then if it comes to the professionals and the hardcore users, it will be a subscription model as we know it from other games. So free to enter, super important. Having the chance to test the game without paying for it, and if you love the game, which will be hopefully most of the free to enter users, you can jump into a subscription model, and then you're 100% happy, and you are in the ecosystem, and you could use all the options we have with the game and the platform and the esport and so on.
Yes. So there was a slight misunderstanding, I'd say, because many people interpreted free to enter as free to play. But like Morris explained it, just to make sure we do need some form of money somehow.
We on our own side made a huge mistake. So we on our own RENNSPORT LinkedIn profile, for the first 6 or 7 weeks, we had a text, and there was this is free to play free to pay game, and there was a mistake. So it's definitely planned to have a free to enter system. So really having the chance, testing a game, jumping into the game, not paying for it, and then it will come to a subscription model.
Perfect. So something that I've also been asked at the Hockenheim Ring last weekend, and that I see in the chat, is, can you hit other people in the pit lane? Will that be possible?
Wow.
That are we still talking about sim racing?
Yes, I think so.
To be honest, we never considered that. We should probably organize a meeting about that.
Yeah, to be honest, we can discuss this. This is a thing which is totally open from technical side. We could program or develop whatever is needed or what we would like to have. And if there is a good reason to do it, I'm 100% open to do it. But that's exactly how we really like to work. Not only in the beginning and up to the summit, also for the next quarters and to the release and after the release, really having all involved and if a majority really thinks that these kind of things are needed and that this should be possible, then it's definitely no problem to implement it into the game.
Yeah, so from technical side of view, both options are already possible in the game. So you can just you can hit other cars in pit lane or you can disable that. So it's more like for the decision what's better for gameplay and what's better for the sporting and other stuff.
That would also be an interesting topic for a poll. So Felix, I know you're listening. Please add that to the list of polls. It would be very interesting to see the results of that. Something else that came up in the chat was driver swaps. Will we support driver swaps in endurance races?
Yes, we have definitely that on our roadmap. Not for the like the closest releases, but we plan to add it once we have some more mechanics for endurances.
That seems to be a constant topic everywhere I go. And I never had an answer. Now I have one. Thank you. Another interesting question received was, would creating an in-game team be possible? For example, a team owns a bunch of different cars and can give them out to their drivers for certain series.
Yeah, that's exactly we wrote down in our game design document 2.5 years, really making things in this direction possible. Really, that people can jump into RENNSPORT and not have not being a driver, also could be just a team manager. So creating a team, having different drivers over a while and really creating a history for the team. It's definitely one of the things we had in our mind from the beginning. So it's not only having drivers on the platform or creating history for cars, it's also really bringing a possibility to just establish your own team and creating history for the team and selling team items as well. So it's also possible. And when it then comes up to the sporting, the next level is if you create a team, there's also the possibility to create your own league and manage your league from different perspectives. So having own sponsors involved and so on. So this is exactly what we had in mind when we started creating a technical base or platform which makes all this possible, and then give it to the community and giving them the chance to create what they would like to have for sporting, for teams, and for racing.
Okay. So I see many other questions in the chat. We will not answer them for now. We will move on with the ones that we have here because time is not, we don't have too much time, but we do have your questions saved, so I will come back to them later. But another question that we had received is, do we have any news on the ESL partnership and where it's going to lead? And can we have a brief description of the competition aspect you're planning on?
Yes, for sure. So as all know, we worked super close with ESL for the summit, and we worked with ESL super close since last year. So when the idea came up for RENNSPORT, one of the first meetings I had was with ESL. So I showed the idea to ESL really to hear what they think about, and if there is room for a game like RENNSPORT, and if they would be open to create some esport with us together. And the feedback was really great from ESL. And so this is I would say this is our first partner, and ESL is with us really since the beginning. And now, we did the next step with ESL. So we really create the sport, and we are just finalizing the league. We plan to start in February next year, and the relationship is closer than ever. So ESL is our main partner, definitely, when it comes to esport and establishing digital motorsport and sim racing in esport. And we will do a super interesting sporting league with ESL together beginning next year. And I'm more than happy to let you know more about the league, the structure, and so on within the next, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, now you also talked a bit about the sporting, and that we can expect some more information on that later. I mean, I know information, but I'm talking as the community right now. Sorry about that. So one topic that we actually skipped because you weren't there at the beginning, Morris, was a quick preview for the closed beta. Like, what features and content can we expect, and some information about the closed beta?
Yeah, so when it comes to the features and maybe to the content, Krzysztof is also a good person who can answer it. There will be some new racetracks in the beta, definitely, and some new cars. As we always said, having the community deeply involved is one of our main goals, and therefore we're really planning to have the beta before we are starting with sporting. So having the community on the game and getting the feedback from the community is super important for us, and it's the most important for us before we do the next step. And therefore, we will do we will do a feature and tech freeze by end of December, preparing everything and doing some internal tests, and then we will start the beta just to give us the chance learning a lot and getting the feedback from the community as soon as possible. So means beta will be ready very soon, and then it will help us really to polish the game and do the next step with the game. And we are all super excited if it comes to the beta, because then it's really the moment where we have a lot of people on the platform and where we get real feedback from the bigger community, and that's definitely a thing. Which will help us to develop the game next year.
Yeah, Krzysztof, do you have anything to add to that?
I think Morris said more than enough, and I don't think anything from me to add.
All right. Something else that was frequently asked is if we will have VR implementation already during the closed beta.
To be completely honest with you guys, we have VR implementation already in the game, but we are not confident enough to share it with you, because our main goal is to have the best quality possible, so you can experience that. And definitely our VR system is not the best quality possible yet. We plan that later on, but for the beta, this is not gonna be shared with you.
Okay, yeah, so still work in progress. Bit difficult, I can imagine, but we will figure it out. We always do. That's one of our strengths. Okay, then we can actually jump to the next thing on the list for today, which would be the last thing before the live chat questions answer session. Which is we have some new content to talk about. Morris, I think you should do that.
New content in the game for the next weeks, or what?
Yes,
what do you mean?
A new car, especially.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm super happy that we now are ready and have finalized all the technical aspects and so on. So from now next week on, Lucas, I think we will have the Audi R8 in the game, and it's the first car we have in our cooperation with Audi. So that's the next big partner we really got from the automotive industry, and definitely there will be other partnership announcements follow within the next months. So yeah, Audi is the next step, and I'm super happy to have the R8 in the game for the beta.
So am I. It drives perfectly. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, right. It's just great. All right. That was all on the list for today, actually. So we can switch again to some live chat question answering stuff. Because like I have Felix here in the Discord who is constantly texting me some good questions from you guys. Thanks for that. And we have something which is RENNSPORT sounds like everything for everyone. What is the primary goal of RENNSPORT? Which epics have the highest priority in your gyro? That's probably more.
Okay. There's a thing. If someone says you would be nice for all, it also implements that at the end there couldn't be a really focused and good product. And that there's maybe some truth in it. And therefore, for us, it was and it is always totally clear what is our main goal. And the main goal is really preparing a state-of-the-art new technology. And that means creating a new game with a graphic engine, which allows us to do all the important things over the next 10 years. So on this side, I think we made the right decision. Then it was always our goal to have community-first ideas, really creating a technology which allows the partners, the stakeholders, the community to be deeply involved, creating their own environments, creating own shops or whatever, creating own content, creating their own leagues, and so on. And this is our main goal. So I would say, if we do our job right and if our technology works fine as we have it in mind with our platform and the game, then we, from our side, were super focused to make this happen from technical side. And this technique and this platform then will enable all our partners in the community to create the content they would like to have. And at the end, that means there will be a lot of content in a lot of different ways. So that's how we work, and that's the goal we have, so that we prepare and create the right technical base that all the others then can make their dreams come true, can build what they really would like to have. So that's the idea behind.
I think that answers it pretty well. Can we trust a guy to make a game if he is struggling to connect to Discord on his laptop? I guess
no,
we can.
You shouldn't do. You shouldn't do. To be honest, that's the right question. And I could be super open to you, all of you. I wasn't really familiar with Discord since I would say end of last year, and I'm still not using it that often. But in this case, it wasn't the Discord thing. It was really the super secure environment of our fucking office, because it wasn't able to connect it from technical side. And that's the thing where we have to talk to the security IT guys here tomorrow. But it's definitely right. If a CEO is not possible to connect on Discord and being in time in these kind of sessions, you shouldn't trust. Yeah, definitely.
Never trust Morris. But luckily, he is not the one developing the game, so you still have hope.
Sometimes you have to secure your game from the CEO. Trust me, guys. I'm in the business for some years.
Great. Another question that has been asked frequently is, will drift competitions be possible on RENNSPORT? Like we saw a video from Gamer Muscle. He did like a drift thing at the summit.
He tried it on the summit, and I really loved how he made it. He tried to hide it and test it a bit, and I was really surprised how it works. So to be totally open for drifting and drifting sessions, and yesterday or last week I saw the Hoonigan thing with Audi together, and it was impressive to see. To be honest, we have to optimize the physics for that, and we are far away to create these kind of pictures at the moment. But I would really like to have these drift possibilities in the game as well.
Yeah, I don't think we have that on our roadmap for like a near future, but technically nothing is impossible. So we can add that at some point.
And drifting works. I mean, I'm not a good driver, but I'm constantly drifting.
Yeah,
Not
for
by
sure.
choice,
Yeah. You can drift, definitely. But now I had these extreme drifting things in mind, and this is, I would say, not possible at the moment. Say it's wrong, Krzysztof, but I think this is not possible at the moment.
Yeah, for now, no.
Yeah, then we have a question. What about Hillclimb tracks? Will it be possible?
Yes, and we have two hill climb, and I'm not talking about Goodwood. We have two hill climb tracks on our list, and we will have them for the release in the game.
So stuff for everyone. That is always good. We have another important question regarding pit stops. How are they done? Is that automatic or manual? And by manual, I mean that the game does not take over the driving in the pit lane.
How it's done right now, and I don't think we're planning to change that anytime. Is you do everything manually. You have to brake before there's a pit limiter. You have to stop in the pit box, and this is everything you have to do by yourself.
Here, another important thing is, will off-road stuff also be on the cards?
Okay, that's a bit long-term or short-term perspective. So Krzysztof gets nervous when it comes to this point.
Yeah.
And from my side, to be honest, before I set up my own company, I worked for Codemasters for a long time, and there were two titles I loved most. There were DTM Race Driver, and on the other side it was Colin McRae Rally and Dirt Rally. So Rally is definitely, I think, I love to have in the game. It's also a bit a physics thing, and environment definitely also, but it's more a physics thing, and it's not on the list at the moment and will not be in the game at the release. But I would love to add rally aspects and rally content later on.
Yeah, but for the near future, we are focused on like doing normal racing on not on off-road, but just on racetracks.
Solid, yes. I mean, you can still drive off-road. I do most of the time, but
yeah,
it does not work that well yet.
It's not the proper way for now.
Yes. Okay. Oh, another good thing. Could you enlighten us with a broad roadmap now or via site from closed beta going forward? Maybe even a voting process. Do we have a roadmap for the closed beta going forward?
So you mean what are the next steps when the closed beta is released, or sorry? Okay.
Probably, yes.
Then we will take our time to get all these feedback from the community. Krzysztof and the team will work day and night to fix things and implement all the ideas, which will definitely come up at this moment. What is on the timeline for the beta? So there will be more and more content in the game, more and more cars, racetracks, and really the goal is to make more and more features of the platform usable by Q2 or Q3 next year.
Voting, public can vote up a feature. I can actually answer that. We're currently looking into a way for that to be possible. We are in contact with some people who might be able to help us with that, with their software, but we can't really say anything about that just yet. We hope we can give you the option to vote for features, because that is what it's all about, right? But we will have to wait and see how the talks go.
Yeah, I would say there are some software solutions which enables community really to be deeply involved and stay in super close contact with the dev guys and having rating systems and so on. But I'm totally open here. We really decide to work with Discord because this is super familiar with you of the community, not with me, as we as we saw in the beginning. But jumping onto another technique or platform where you have to register and so on is maybe not the right moment at this moment. Really, we would like to have you in your environment and feel as most comfortable as possible. And therefore, really, we decide to stay on Discord because this is the channel where the community comes together and work with. And yeah, there would be a lot of great options using another or special software for these kind of things. But I'm not happy, not 100% sure if it would be the right moment at the moment to do that.
Okay, and we have another question for Krzysztof. How will track limits be handled?
Maybe let's not dig into technical details too much, but basically how usually it's done in racing. So you have those lines on track and you have to keep your wheels inside of them. So nothing invented from the scratch, I would say.
Nothing completely new. But it's fine. I mean, it's working so far. A question, how are the settings saved and how can you back them up? Like a config file or different?
So like we mentioned earlier, we are developing our platform, which will provide us support to synchronize settings and have it like associated with your account. So all the important data will be there in case you need it. And basically that's how we plan to make sure that you don't lose anything important for you. Also, all the stuff related to profile, like your statistics, they also will be there. And we want to make sure you have access anytime you want from either the game or the platform or mobile app.
And also another question for you, which is quite important, I think. How is the stability so far with multiplayer racing? Because we had some racing test sessions. How would you say is the stability?
I would say pretty good. As you could see, in May we were able to organize a LAN event with 100 people in there, and as far as I remember, we didn't have any major problems with that. Of course, we are still in development, so from time to time we also break something in the game. We try to make sure it doesn't happen too often, but we are pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I can just agree with that. We had some issues, but they have been fixed like almost immediately, which was impressive. So, yep, looking forward to the future with that. Do we consider a split screen option?
As far as I'm concerned, no. But correct me if I'm wrong, Morris.
No, it's another thing we have on the list at the moment.
Okay, and we have got an explanation for the EVE Online iRacing subscription model thing. So EVE Online apparently only you only need to sub and no money for further content. And with iRacing, you pay for every car and track. So what will we be more likely to have?
Yeah, it will be this way that the subscription is definitely the way to open up the whole ecosystem, really being able to creating leagues, and managing your garage, playing online and all these things. And there will be definitely in the subscription some content as well, racetracks, cars, and so on. But on the other hand, definitely there will be a lot of items, cars, and so on, which you can sell on top of that.
Okay, so like a subscription and DLC kind of system then.
Yes, right.
Okay, so actually we're quite far. So I'd probably do like 1 or 2 more questions and then stop for today. We will have another talking session sometime in the future because it's just super great for interacting with you guys, especially. And So
and I
let's see
will
if we can
promise,
find some more.
Lucas, I will promise next time I will try to jump into the session 1 hour earlier, really to be prepared.
Yeah, we will test it a bit more next time.
Okay.
Now we are
Next
aware
time I
of
will
the
join.
25 tires.
I will join late. So.
Perfect. Okay, will there be seasons with one season, one car, so that you have to choose and stay on this car and not everyone switch to the meta car for each track?
So is it a question for the sporting or what was?
Generally online races. So will we have a system where we can set a season so that you can only select one car for the whole season?
So if it comes to, and that's exactly what is really different on RENNSPORT. So that's definitely a thing we do not want to decide. What we are doing, if you create your own season or your own tournament, you could decide if it is possible or not. So this is another things we will say it has to be A or B.
Give the users some options is always a good way
to
deal with
right.
it. And something with cars as well, I remember from earlier. How do we deal with the BOP of cars?
Therefore, we definitely have 2 guys in the team which are super close to the real motorsport, and they bring a lot of experience from this world. So they are working since months to preparing the right tools and the right way to make really the best BOP possible. We all know from the real world and from sim racing, this is always a topic where people could discuss hours and hours. I think we have some good ideas there to make it as fair as possible, but I'm quite sure at the end there will always be some questions or things where people are not 100% happy. But I think we have some good tools to prepare it, and I think they are super fair. And it's definitely a huge topic where we are working on since months.
Yeah, and it's very important as well, especially for our sporting.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing that I actually only realized was a problem yesterday, like I didn't even know about it yet. Can people compete online against cars that they do not own?
Can people compete online against cars they do not own? 100% yes. I don't know if it is not possible in the alpha at the moment, but this is super alpha. But in the beta and in the final game, definitely yes.
Yeah, there's no reason to block you from racing with cars you don't own. You just can't select it for you as a your car, but you can just let other users have it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Guys, I think we will need to wrap this up. There's a question about the closed beta start, when they will get notified. I think that will be a good end question. So when will people get notified if they are in the closed beta for the start? I can answer that. We will randomly select some people, and like we said on our website, we have a 50-50 thing. 50% is first come, first serve. And if you manage to get into the closed beta, you will receive an email from us, which will then tell you about your lucky draw, I guess. And not sure yet if it will already have the key, but soon after you will definitely get a key for the game then. And you will be able to test it. Oh, and will closed beta be under NDA? No, it will not. Once the closed beta has started, you will be able, at least as we have it right now, to like show it around freely, talk about it freely. That should all be totally possible. No NDA there. And yes, this was recorded for later playback. I think we are planning on having a YouTube video or making a YouTube video out of this, so you can check all of this again.
Does it make sense without a video?
We will have to
can-
figure something out with the video. Maybe we can
We can add
animate
some
some
funny
characters.
pictures with developers.
Yeah, some funny
Exactly.
pictures. Pictures of me trying to jump into Discord and not able to do it.
Yes.
Can we share some information what we've heard today? Yes, like we just said, we will probably upload a video of this on YouTube if we can figure out the visual problem, and maybe also some snippets on our social media channels. So you can also talk freely about what we said here. There's no way we can block you from that right now.
No, there's one thing, Lucas, we cannot talk about, and it's the problem from the CEO to jumping into Discord. This is not allowed, to be honest.
Yeah, please don't talk about that. That will be way too embarrassing for Morris. Nah, I'm sure he can manage it. We'll probably make fun of him
maybe.
for that during the next talking sessions as well. Looking forward to that already. Shame on that CEO, exactly.
We'll organize a walk of shame or something in the office.
Yes.
Thanks.
All right, then. Thank you everyone for joining. It was a great session. Actually, I was super nervous. It was the first time I've ever done something like this. And, well, Morris and Krzysztof had a bit of training already due to the summit, but also not so much. So we are happy with how it went. Like I said earlier, we will have... Yes?
Sorry, Lucas, you made a great job. I've got a feeling that you are a born host, and you made it in a way that I'm really deeply impressed. Unbelievable.
Oh God!
Thanks a lot.
I hope not. We'll see. Yeah, but like I said, thank you everyone for joining. We will send an announcement for the next session when we know when it will happen. Hopefully, we're a bit better prepared for that without any technical issues. And yeah, talk to you guys next time. I hope you all had fun, and if there are any questions that we did not answer, feel free to ask them again. Maybe we can answer them, or check our the summit video, the Q&A session. We answered a few things there, or well, Morris and Krzysztof did. And also check our FAQs, because I saw some questions that were already answered in there. And yep, thank you and bye everyone.
Yeah,
thanks a lot from my side. It was really great. Wish you all a great weekend, and see you all soon. Bye.
Yeah, thank you too, guys, and have a great weekend. And see you soon, I hope.